All right, everybody, welcome back to Whispering Wild. Today's episode, we're back out here in the food plot we've been working on that we planted oats in. And today we're actually going to be taking a soil sample through Mossy Oak Biologic Labs. And we're gonna go ahead and get a soil sample so we know exactly what the soil conditions and fertilizer that we need for this fall. We need to get the pH up and whatever other minerals that are lacking. So we're gonna go ahead and sample. The instructions read to sample from 4 or 5 different locations in the plot. That's going to help get an average for the soil if it varies a little bit. So what the directions say is we're gonna scrape some soil away and the debris on top, and we're gonna go ahead and take soil down to within 6 inches or however deep your tillage is. So we're gonna go ahead, dig a couple spots, and we're gonna put it right in a bag. Now you have to be specific. You can use a metal shovel or spade and a plastic pail, different things like that. But if you use a galvanized bucket and some different types of metals, it can actually add zinc or different things to the soil, which could give you a false reading. So you have to make sure you're careful and you follow the directions. So I don't have a metal shovel down here, so I'm gonna use a rock. But we're gonna go ahead and take a couple samples of this soil. All right, we're gonna go ahead to our next spot. All right, guys, so the reason being for doing this is our fall food plot, we need to have the right food and minerals and different things in the soil for the crop to grow. So the main reason about this is to set up our food plot for success. We sure could come out here and throw some seed out and hopefully that it grows, similar to like what we did with these oats. Obviously they came up, but that doesn't mean our soil has good pH and different variables. So we want to make sure that our soil is set up for success. That way we can have a good food plot this fall and feed the deer and hopefully harvest deer over it. So that's the plan. It's a big picture item here that we're trying to do, working on this farm here. So we're trying to manage it, and by starting to get some good food source on it, that's going to be long into the winter. So that's the plan. That starts with good soil. Okay guys, now that we got our bag of soil, we're just gonna go ahead and just make sure you mix it up. That'll give you that nice average. And we're gonna go ahead and put it in a bag and we're gonna mail it in to the Mossy Oak Biolab. And we'll get an email in a couple days, hopefully, with an update, and we'll go through it once I receive it. And we'll finish this video from there, and we'll wrap up and explain the whole form and everything and how this soil is doing and exactly what we're gonna have to do to it. So that being said, we're gonna go get this in the mail. All right guys, so we got our soil sample back in the mail, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, I'm no expert at this. This is my first time sending in a sample, but I'm gonna go online with you and I'm gonna talk through and do a voice recording of my test. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you what our soil sample looks like, and then from there I'm going to the ag co-op and I'm gonna show them my soil sample, and I'm gonna show them and ask them what I should get for fertilizers and different things like that. I have a couple friends that are familiar with this and they've recommended different things already. So basically the soil sample gives you a generic fertilizer mix that you can use, and then if you bring the actual soil sample to your ag co-op, they can kind of customize it a little bit more specific into a blended mixture of fertilizer versus one bag of each different thing. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on the computer and talk about that, and we'll see you back in a little bit. Okay guys, so right over here now, we're on the laptop here, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what my soil sample looks like from Mossy Oak Biologic Labs. So up here they just give you some general information. If I scroll down now, it's 3 pages. So how this works is, this is currently in sample ID 1 right here. This is what is in the soil right here. It shows. So my phosphorus is roughly 206 pounds per acre, which is very high. Potassium is 158 pounds an acre. Calcium is 2,096 pounds an acre. Magnesium, 302 pounds an acre. So this is what your soil is, and then to the right here, what I have is 5.9 pH. That is what my current soil pH is. Now, the desired pH for the wildlife food plot I'm going to be planting is recommended between 6.5 and 7.5. So scrolling down, it's now going to show you the fertilizers you need to make your soil healthy and correct for what you need for what you want to grow. So if you're 1 acre or greater applying this using pounds an acre, I roughly need 2,500 pounds of lime, 40 nitrogen, 100 potash. If I was less than an acre, I would apply this chart here on the right, which would be 57 pounds of lime, 0.09 or 0.9 nitrogen, 2.3 potash. And that would be pounds per 1,000 square feet. So going on from there, I'm going to be going over here to table 2, and this is my NPK fertilizer to apply when using bagged fertilizer, which was what I'm using. So my recommended from Mossy Oak Biologic Labs is going to be a 3400 at 118 pounds per acre. And now this would be on the right, would be again for if I was less than an acre. This gives you per 1,000 square feet. So I'm right at an acre for my food plot. So this is roughly what I need to follow. So it's 34-0-0 and then 0-060 for 167 pounds an acre. Okay, now what this 34-0-0, what that means now is going to be, this is how you determine what kind of fertilizer is. So your N, which would be N here, is your first number, and that would be nitrogen. Your second number, which is P, is going to be phosphorus, which would be 0 here, and your third number is going to be K, and that's potassium. So those are the 3 NPK fertilizers. And now there's different names, potassium and phosphorus. They can be under potash and different things like that. So they have similar meanings, but same concept here. So what happened in my situation is, one more thing I want to touch on quick. So this right here are my recommended fertilizers. Now, moving down here, this is showing me my table of lime. So roughly I need 2,500 pounds of lime per acre. Now what this graph here is showing you, this depends on the quality of your lime. So on a bagged lime, it'll show you what percent of calcium carbonate equivalency percentage is found on the lime bag. This is giving you a rough estimate of 0.70, which would equal 3,571 pounds of lime total. Now, in my area, the lime gets mined out of the quarries, so it's basically like pure lime. It's a little bit higher than this average, so I would probably recommend for myself the 2,500 pounds of lime per acre. Now, I'm not actually going to be using a lime this year because unfortunately I can't get a lime truck in. So I'm going to be using Deer Grow Plot Start, which is a liquid lime, and I'll explain more about that in the near future. So let's jump back out to the field. Thanks, guys. I hope this was helpful for you. Alrighty. I hope I explained everything really well with the soil sample, and what I wanted to talk about next was going to the ag co-op where they sell the fertilizer and different things. I went there today. So as you can see, I needed a bunch of lime in my soil sample because I had a 5.9% and I really need a 6.5 or higher pH. So I need a bunch of lime, and unfortunately now with other crops around us growing, I can't get a lime truck in here to spread mineral lime. So I'm gonna go ahead and order this stuff called Deer Grow. It's a liquid calcium lime, and I'm gonna use that, the correct amount of that per acreage. So you'll see that in the next video following this one, the next series. So, but going back to that, as far as my other fertilizers, the Ag Co-op recommended to me, it's a 25-20, which is 20 nitrogen, 5 phosphorus, and 20 potassium, which is potash. So what the guy at the Ag Co-op told me today is, even though my phosphate is good as far as the soil goes, adding a little extra can be good for just the soil and root growth, different things like that, he was explaining to me. So as far as that goes, that's what I'm going to use. I have 250 pounds of this bagged pellet fertilizer. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to apply that in the coming future in the next video. But I hope I explained this the best I could with my first time sending in a soil sample to Mossy Oak Biolab. So I'm so far super pleased with how that turned out. And the best $9 I ever spent, I think. So going from there, we want to thank the Ag Co-op. They really helped me out and explained to me everything I needed to know for the fertilizer I needed. So it was super helpful to go to them and get the stuff that they recommended to me. So that being said, that's the next step in success for our fall food plot. So stay tuned and check out the next video in this series. Thanks for watching, guys.